Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to session 3 of teachers
Madam, good
training.
evening. Good evening,
Good
ma'am.
evening, Mr. Rajesha. It's good to hear from you.
Good evening,
Good
ma'am.
evening, Mr. Good evening, Mr. Sunil.
Good evening,
Good
ma'am.
evening, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good
Good
evening,
evening,
ma'am.
everyone. It's good to connect with you all. I think it's Saturday. You had a half day and you probably might have rested if I'm not wrong. Yeah. So let's begin the session for today. We're going to cover data storage, cybersecurity, and understanding the fundamentals of a programming language, which is very important. This piece of information which I give is not given in the book, so I insist all of you to pay extra attention when we talk about this topic, understanding programming languages today. Let me share my screen. Okay, so just displaying the topics that we'll be covering today. First of all, we'll be covering the chapter data storage, different types of data storage, and in depth, we'll be discussing about the cloud storage because this is the age of cloud storage. And then we will discuss about cyber security. Then we will talk about understanding programming languages. So we'll take a break of 5 minutes after each topic because these are a little heavier than the previous topics that we discovered in the first 2 days. So we'll take break of 5 minutes after each session, after each topic. I'll go ahead and open the book. So here we talk about data storage. We can begin to ask students this chapter, we can ask them as how they manage their data. What types of data do they generate, or what type of data do they store usually? So, data is typically what we do is in the form of some documents, pictures, videos, presentations. So, these are the typical type of data that we deal with every day. And storage is a place where we actually save them and quickly able to retrieve it. So they might end up saying that they store their data on the computers, or they must not be managing any files as such, which we did in our generation. So storing in the data in the computers or pen drives. So there are many examples that we can give them. First of all, I want to ask the picture that is given here. What is it? How is it applicable to data storage? What picture is given here?
Server.
Server, yeah. So it is a server rather which has multiple servers, and it's a big room. It is called data center, which talks about the cloud storage. Okay, so let us quickly jump into the storage. Then we'll come back to these. All of us know what are hard disk and CD, memory card. We'll come back to them later. Let us discuss in depth about the cloud and come back to this page. So how do you describe cloud if you have to teach students about cloud, or anybody, a layman who does not understand the concept of cloud? How will you teach them? What is your understanding about the cloud with respect to technologies? Somebody can unmute yourself and try to give an analogy or some way you can introduce the concept of cloud to students or layman who is new to it in simple words. Cloud in the in the context of technology.
Basically, cloud is a storage where we can store our file data.
Yeah, right. Okay, how is it different from the regular storage or on-premise or on the device storage?
Mm,
We can
But
give
I will
them
be
some
stored in Google.
Google, where they store there in Google. Yeah, Google Photos, Google Drive. Those are all examples of
Yes, if
cloud
our
storage.
device will lost, so it will be stored in on Google, so our data will save.
Right. So no loss of data when we save it on the
Yes, no
cloud.
loss of data.
So these are all the advantages. Yeah, thank you. So these are all the advantages of cloud. Now, how do we explain cloud to students? Okay. So for example,
See,
there are
when I'm storing my data, I get
okay,
two things. One is I get mail. Second one I get cloud. Cloud is much more faster. We can save our data.
okay.
I have one app. So in that app,
Uh-huh.
it is giving me both the preference basically. So generally,
Okay.
I store my data in cloud. It is much more easier
Mm-hmm.
for me.
Okay. It's easier, it is faster, and the data is secured. You can access it from anywhere. So these are the advantages of the cloud. But with a small diagram, I would just like to narrate the need for cloud. You can use this if you like it in your class as well. Just assume in an office or in your school there are three computers which is storing all the data, where Excel sheets, students' information, images, everything is loaded. So it goes on filling there. These are devices, computer devices. Actual data is stored directly on the computers. All the data is saved on the computers. And for just simplicity, we will just assume that each has just 4 GB. It will be a lot more. I'm just to teach those kids, I'm just saying each has 4 GB. And say the school is in its 5th year of operation. It's a new school, it's in 5th year of operation, 4 GB of data, and suddenly they realize that the space is full. So what do? They get one more system. They can do that, which will cost around somewhere around 85K. Okay, so they will build it up. They will stack up. And what if the school year on year it keeps growing? Should we have to bring one more system or external hard disk, which will cost around 10,000? Okay, all this is okay. Okay, now suppose this system crashes. Something goes wrong with this system. How do they get this data? The data is also gone with the crashing of that system. How do they get that data? And who is responsible? A person who is operating it, or the school which has purchased it or instructed the person to store the data on it? So this data will simply be gone because there is blame game, and data is very important for any company or schools for all the reasons, for their progress, for their monitoring, supervision. So, but this is gone and it's a big loss. Okay, so in this scenario, it's very difficult. And suppose people who are operating here, say there are 50 teachers in the schools, they're all using only 4 computers which are there for operation. They save everything there. So if the teachers are outside elsewhere, they are not in the school, they're outside somewhere, and they urgently want to access something. So they have to rush to the school and access this system to know the data, which is again a problem. So here we discovered 3 problems. One is the extension, scalability of the data storage. As year on year, the data keeps building up, and it is difficult to rig up a new system and store it. And the biggest problem is if the system crashes, the entire data in it will be gone. And the other problem is accessibility. I am outside the school, but I am unable to access. So these 3 scenarios. So now you can ask students what is the solution they can get. So it's not just directly telling them what is cloud, how it helps. We should narrate a story or create a scenario where they realize the importance. So in this way, now they will give a lot of random answers. So you can tell them, we'll do something. We will get a big server to the school and connect all these systems here. Okay, connect this server. And this server is nothing but a big computer with high speed processing ability. And it is nothing but a form of computer only, but with high processing speed and lot of uh, storage space. Server, which will give us, say, 500 GB. Just these numbers are very basic, just to make them understand. Say 500 GB, but it will come at a cost of 50 lakhs. Okay, so should we buy this for our school? You can ask this to store year on year, even for 10, 15 years, we will continue to save the data. And the other rule is that this server to be managed by one special person, one special employee or a staff should be allocated to manage this server. Manage this server. He or she will have to ensure that the server is running 24/7. It should never experience power outage. It should always be accessible. So this person task is that, and he should be paid salary. So what is the total expense that we are going to get out of this? So it's, and again, in the 5th year, your school wants only, say, 100 GB of data, but your server is set up for 500 GB. So what do we do with the rest of the space until it grows? We have paid for even the rest of the place which is underutilized. Okay, so all these problems are there. Okay, this is a scenario. Now ask them to think critically and give an answer. How should we go for this server? And then you can introduce them. Say now a company like Google, a big giant, will take up this responsibility. It will say, I will have a room full of servers, multiple servers. I will invest in it. I will hire people to manage it. I'll ensure it runs 24/7. I'll ensure that data is accessible all the time. I will ensure the data is not lost. And you can pay me as much as you use. Say, suppose you want to use just 100 GB for your school. You can subscribe for that and pay just 1000 per month. So 1000 per month. And then after 5 years, your school data will raise up to 200 GB. Then start paying 3K per month, whatever in that range. So is this appeal convincing? Is this offer convincing? You don't have headache of managing the server, building the server, investing in the big server,
Yes,
hire a
ma'am.
person to look after it. Yeah, this is a lot convincing. So students
Yes.
will also be confused. Yeah, thank you so much. So everybody will be convinced. So this is the concept of cloud. But how do we connect these from the device? Say this is my school. This is my school system. And here is where I'm storing the data. My school's data is here in Google's server or data center. What I do is I'll use this device to use only the browser credentials and connect it to this server. It is connected. When I'm paying, when I'm subscribed, whenever I ask for a document, if it is stored in cloud, it is coming from this place. And it needs internet. So cloud, when we say it needs internet, otherwise it cannot get the information. Internet is not an issue. The infrastructure in the whole world is very well built. The internet is not an issue anymore. So we can get access to the internet. And whenever I'm asking for school's documents, which are stored on the Google Drive, it is coming from Google's computer, not from this device. Our device, school's device, this is school's device. The school's device is used only to access the browser, connect to the internet, and access the data that is stored in Google's computer, Google server. So essentially, we say that all our files are saved in someone else's computer, but we use our computer to only connect through the internet and the gateway of the browser. We put our credentials and invite or receive the data from the server, from Google's computer. This is the concept of cloud. And now there are multiple advantages of this. So another analogy is that, a simple analogy is, we all like to have our own house. It has its own comfort, but the investment is too high. I have to pour in crores, lakhs together and crores together to stay in my house. And then I keep shifting many places. It won't be of any help for me. In that case, we go for rented apartments, rented houses. So we pay the owner of the house as much as we use. So 2 bedroom, we pay a certain amount. If we want to increase the bedroom space, we change the house and increase the bedroom, then we pay more. So that is option. That is typically an example of cloud here. So initially our data was just 100 GB. We paid 1K per month. It solved everything. Everything is constructed. We don't have headache of maintaining it. And next year it raised to 2 GB. I may pay 3K or whatever price. This concept is called pay as you use. Pay as you use concept. It's one of the advantages of the cloud. And the other advantage is that our data is secure. It's Google company's headache, how they manage these servers 24/7, how they are monitoring, how they are managing. I don't know, but I'm very sure that data is secure. I don't lose my data. And then accessibility. I need not run to school when I want to access something. I could be traveling, I could be on a vacation, I could be anywhere. I can still pull out that data and give it to the authorities that are demanding for it. So easy accessibility. Pay as you use, data is secure, easy accessibility, and the other thing is scalability. And the most important thing is cost. So all these are the advantages. So when we teach students like this, they will not forget it for their lifetime. So pay as you use. I insist you come up with the stories first, then take them to the textbook and quickly run through it. So it becomes like, yes, I have already understood the concepts. I'm just going through the concepts quickly from the textbook. It looks like a lot of time is wasted and we are not touched the textbook. But this approach was used by my teacher, whom I told I adored and I felicitated 2 years back. She used this concept. She spent sufficient time in the class explaining such stories, building narration. In the end, she made us open the textbook and quickly grasp. Students wouldn't forget it for their lifetime, whatever they learn. So, pay as you use. Data is secure. You can access anywhere from any place, anytime. And scalability. Suddenly, the school capacity is raised, number of seats, number of divisions, and then you need another 50 GB or 100 GB. Again, instantly you can scale up with just a subscription. So you need not build any hardware around it. It's all readily available. Subscribe, pay more, 1.5K, I'll pay and I'll get instant. So that is scalability, quick scalability. And cost, if you see earlier, I have just purchased 500 GB, which is underutilized, and I am just utilizing 200 GB, which I have paid huge amount for that, which is waste of cost. So there is also cost that is being saved here. So these are the advantages of cloud. Paying as we use, data is secure, accessibility, scalability, and cost reduction, optimization. Okay, so now we'll talk about the company who are providing cloud services, global players. There are many cloud providers, local and global players, out of which let us talk. And the book also talks about three important players, key players in the world. Can somebody name the three players, dominant players of cloud?
One is Amazon.
Yeah. Amazon.
Google Drive, madam.
Google. Yeah. Google is
Google
one.
Drive.
Yeah, Google is one company. Yeah. Which is other company? These are names of the companies. The cloud
OnePlus.
services have different name. No, that's name of a mobile phone manufacturing company, and it has this own cloud that they have developed. I'm talking about the three major players of cloud for big applications covering entire world.
Microsoft.
Yes, exactly. It is Microsoft. So there are many small players, local players, but these are leading the market in the world, big giants. Nobody can compete with them. We have IBM as well, but these are the three giants. Amazon, Google, and Microsoft. These are the names of the companies who provide cloud services. and their cloud services. Amazon is into retail, e-commerce industry, and many more things, software development, and so many other things, cloud services as well. But each one have got a different name for cloud services, a different name for their services. Amazon, it is called as AWS, Amazon Web Services. Google,
Yeah,
it's called
Amazon Web
GCP.
Service.
Google, it is called GCP, Google Cloud Provider. And Microsoft, it is named as Azure, Azure, Azure. So these are the top three players in the market of cloud services. So most of us as users, Google is offering free of cost initially some amount of memory. We can some data, some amount of data we can store free of cost. That's why it is famous amongst users, consumers as you and me. Whereas industries, when they want to put their company's data, they don't usually trust Google or many industrial applications, software applications. They are either on Amazon.
Uh, ma'am, even China, Alibaba is also there, no?
China, Alibaba is an e-commerce,
Alibaba,
e-commerce.
Alibaba Cloud.
Yeah. Cloud, they do have services. Yeah, but these are the top players. So these have occupied the world majorly known. There are many, like IBM is also a competitor. Alibaba also has his own, they have their own cloud as well. But these are top players capturing major segment of the market. So these three are given in the book, AWS, GCP, and Azure. So now tell me, among these three, whom do you think holds the uh, largest market share, highest market share?
Amazon. Last time you told us.
Yeah, right.
Last time you told us it's
Yeah,
31%, if I'm not mistaken.
right. Yeah, I think so. You were there in the last session. Yeah. So it's Amazon, which has around 30%, 30 or 31% of market share of the cloud, which is huge in the entire world. 30% market share is too much. So Amazon is leading, AWS is leading in terms of market share, whereas Google and Azure comes next. So can somebody browse and tell me what is the market share of Azure by Microsoft and Google's share as well?
It shows 22% Azure.
Azure, okay. It is next to Amazon, 22%, which is also significant. How about Google?
This must be 10%,
11%.
approximately.
Okay,
10%, 11%,
10 to 11%.
10%.
You can see, but if you just if you have an opinion over the usage, everybody would say it's Google in the first place because we are using Google Drive. But it's not. Industry wise, all the industrial applications, they either choose AWS or Azure for their own reasons. These giants heavily compete with each others. So the services they give, the way
I
they
think that
propose.
I think the companies are using Amazon, whereas the people who are using Google.
Sorry.
I think most of the companies they must be using Amazon Cloud,
Yeah,
whereas the retail people must be using Google. Or people like
right.
us, we are using Google.
People like us, which who don't have a lot of utility with data. How much data do we store? Maximum 2 GB, 3 GB, or even if we subscribe, I have subscribed for 100 GB, for which I pay 200 per month. So it is still negligible. But the companies, they store in terabytes, petabytes of data and a lot, and it's confidential. See, when something is free in business, when something is free, given free of cost, then we should know that we are the products. When something is given free of cost to us, then we are the products. Meaning, from the free data that it gives, what we do there, we save our documents, we save our photos. Those are all used for Google ads, getting relevant ads to your YouTube, getting relevant ads in your search engine. So they are using us, and our data is given to someone else there. So when somebody is giving their services for free, meaning we are the products, we are being sold somewhere. So, or some ads will keep bumping in. Have you seen Amazon intruding in your, if you just use Amazon's cloud, it doesn't introduce, and moreover, it doesn't give any cloud services to general public like Google does. It only uses industrial applications, softwares, and so is Microsoft. OneDrive, it uses Azure. Yeah. So there are variations, but Google is always like this. It's been known to work like this. It offers free of cost and it pulls out all your data. It gives it to the required ad agencies, whoever is promoting their products or services. So a lot of, we are okay. We have gotten comfortable with that. We are getting something for free of cost. Google has its own way of doing things, for which it is famous among the retailers like us. But for industrial applications, people go for Amazon and Microsoft Azure because there is no nuisance. And the biggest thing is confidentiality here for industrial applications. We don't mind our documents or photos being exposed. We don't take care of that. We're not really bothered, but companies have to be really, really confidential. So they carefully choose their cloud providers. Each one of them have positioned themselves for different market segment. Yeah. So having said that, Amazon holds the highest market share, about 30%, and Google 10 to 11%, Microsoft. So first place is Amazon, second place is Microsoft, and third is Google. Okay. Now, another interesting, you can ask the students, they watch movies from Netflix. Where do they think they get the movies from? Where are the movies stored?
Amazon Prime, Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix, Amazon Prime. Say they watch movies from Netflix. Let's discuss that. So there are thousands of movies on Netflix. It's very obvious that all the movies cannot be in our phone. We need internet, and through internet, somewhere the movies are stored, they stream into our devices, we watch them. So that is nothing but the concept of cloud. Say Netflix has subscribed to some cloud provider out of these three, and all the movies are saved here. So when I am using my phone, to watch Netflix, I'm just using my phone for the internet and this app, whereas the movies are flowing from the cloud, from someone else's computer, cloud provider's computer. I'm able to see it. Now, Netflix stores their movies on which cloud? Amazon, Google, or Microsoft? Any guess? Where are the movies of Netflix stored? On which cloud?
Must be Amazon only because being a market share seems to be very high.
Yeah. So that's a nice guess. Yes, Netflix stores all their movies on Amazon. Netflix was the first one to start this movie streaming platform. Uh, Amazon housed all their movies on their cloud. Netflix became very popular within years. And even being so popular, Netflix doesn't make its mind to have its own cloud because it's so expensive to manage. It's really, really difficult. On the other way, Amazon realized that its Netflix customer has launched this product, and looking at that, they launched this similar product, Amazon Prime, because they have the cloud facility of their own. They just need to do the same thing as Netflix. Here, they don't even want to look out for the cloud provider. They have their own cloud. So Amazon Prime, the movies of Amazon are also on AWS. The movies of Netflix are also on AWS. Being the competitors, their movies are housed in the same place. But on our phone, we cannot access Amazon's movies from Netflix. We cannot access Amazon's movie from Prime movie videos from Netflix and the other way. So those are all the facts that students will be excited to understand, realize, and appreciate these technologies, the stories behind them, than just the textbook knowledge. So the textbook also has all of this information, but what I give in the trainings are a level next to what can be given in the books. Because in the books, we consider an average student and design those books. When these are supplied to Pan India, we cannot definitely raise the bar of the book suddenly. So these are all provided through the trainings. If you think your students are smart enough to grasp all of these, then please use these examples and make the class interesting. Yeah. So Netflix, Amazon, they both house their movies in AWS. Yeah. So now now there is an activity for all of you. You can browse and tell me the data centers, place of the data centers that are meant for each of these in India, Google Cloud data centers. In which cities they are there? Data centers of Google, data centers of AWS in India, and data centers of Azure. In which cities are they located? How many data centers are there and in which cities? Browse this and tell me. I'll write down the city names here.
It's in Mumbai, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Mumbai, then Chennai,
GCP is
Pune,
in?
Hyderabad,
Yeah, can you help me with GCP? Which place? Mumbai?
Navi Mumbai,
Okay. Navi Mumbai. Which other
then
place?
Delhi NCR.
Okay. Delhi
That one
NCR.
is that then Hyderabad.
Okay. GCP is also in Hyderabad? I'm not sure. We need to check. I'm not sure of Hyderabad.
No.
No,
It's
it's
in
not in
Navi
Hyderabad.
Mumbai and Delhi. No.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's
GCP
in
is only
Chennai, I
in two
think so.
places.
Two places.
Okay. GCP is planning in Chennai. Please search for it and let me know. AWS. I have all sent the names, but
It's
you
in
don't,
Gurgaon.
but okay. Okay. So, yeah, so let us check these on the internet. I'll show you the data
Hyderabad.
centers also.
Hyderabad.
Hyderabad also, but which cloud provider is in Hyderabad?
Amazon.
Which? Amazon. Okay.
Why data center in
Data
Hyderabad?
center in India. After COVID, they have leveled up, or they have made multiple units. Before that, it was only just one or two. Yeah. Kindly mute yourself. The background noise is okay. These are typical data centers. It could be any place. This is Amazon's.
Uh, Ma'am, I
Yeah.
think the AWS they have at Bangalore also. What it shows in the
Maybe they are coming up with many more. They are scaling it up. There could be,
Bombay,
but the latest,
Mumbai,
yeah.
Chennai, Hyderabad, Delhi, Bangalore.
Okay. So they are actually scaling it up. If you see, the data centers are like this, very, very difficult to manage all this infrastructure. So nobody actually likes to build their own cloud system.
Activate AI across your enterprise now? MuleSoft can help. It's the unified platform for integration.
Amazon Web Services is an unrivaled colossus of the internet age, providing the computational horsepower underpinning countless organizations, from Netflix to BMW, Disney to GE, Tinder to the CME. It earns tens of billions of dollars a year. And if you've used the internet at all lately, you've probably used Amazon Web Services without even knowing it. Join us today as we enter the belly of the beast and take a sneak peek inside an AWS data center. In stark contrast to its car, boxes, vans, trucks, jet planes, and warehouses, Amazon prefers not to brand its vast portfolio of gargantuan data centers. But these monumental server farms are the very guts of the firm's wildly successful AWS, that's Amazon Web Services division. AWS began life at a 2003 meeting in the lake house of CEO Jeff Bezos. The firm had just emerged strong from the dot-com bust, but Bezos' fast-growing retailer was having difficulty setting up and rolling out its own internal server capacity. A scheme promising fast, scalable server infrastructure was duly hashed out and was swiftly identified, by the more enterprising young guns in the room at least, as a potential spin-off service Amazon could sell on to other companies. Fast forward to today, and AWS rakes in a whopping 60% of all Amazon profits. That's about $50 billion a year. How? By taking on other companies' tech problems in the cloud. If you're a startup in 2021, you no longer need to invest precious capital in vast banks of noisy, expensive servers and battalions of nerds to maintain them. You just rent time on Amazon's gear instead. That's the cloud. When you're busy, yay, you hire more gear. If you're quiet, whatever, you hire less gear. The actual gear in question is jealously hidden from prying eyes by Amazon. Even clients aren't allowed to poke around in the data centers they pay for, and their addresses aren't made public. But here's what we know. Take a typical site in Loudoun County, Northern Virginia. AWS is set to run at least 50 individual data centers in this region alone, covering several million square feet. Believe it or not, Amazon is planning on adding still more capacity in Northern Virginia. For instance, a 100-acre site near Dulles Airport, the firm reportedly just shelled out a cool $73 million for. On entry to
Yeah. Was this audio visible? Sorry, audible to you of the video?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you can set up a demo of such videos and everything. I think one should be least bothered about teaching line by line from the textbook. If you show these things and quickly in 10 minutes, if you flip the pages, the students will already know a lot more than that is given on the in the textbooks. So we can set up speakers, projectors, try to show them. So along with this, they will also start to think, framing their career. Can I work in data centers? Can I work in e-commerce? Where do I place myself? They start seeing different career opportunities when we actually show where the places of work like this through technologies. Yeah, so that is one thing. You see data centers. I'll just give AWS, Azure, and GCP data centers. An image here. Yeah, so all these three. And show the students this image. The sky blue bubbles are for Azure, the yellow bubbles are for Amazon, and the orange or slightly red is for GCP. In India, I think this is not an updated one, so there are very less things given in India. You see throughout the world, if you see, there are so many data centers. And another interesting fact is that when we subscribe to any service cloud provider, how do they ensure that the data is available all the time without any glitch? So the thing is, a copy of our data is saved in multiple locations. So one in South India, one in Singapore, one somewhere in East Asia, somewhere in Germany. So a piece of data will have copies in multiple data centers. So if something goes wrong in Singapore server, it will be fetched from Germany's. So it is so seamless, we don't get to know from where it is given access to when we access it. So that's the structure of security. The data gives you the availability of data anytime. Anything can fail. If you remember, sometime 2 years ago, on in the month of October, WhatsApp also had a glitch. Everybody's WhatsApp was shut down. Everybody thought that it's a problem with their phone, but later they realized it was problem with WhatsApp only. Such large scale, massive technical glitches do happen. So nobody can take it for granted. For simplicity, I mean, to not get into such trouble, always whenever we create a data and subscribe to any of these cloud, they don't save our data in just one data center. They will be saved in multiple data centers. They will be coming from whichever is working hassle free. And this is how they manage, and they take one in confidence that it will be available to you. Well, this is the concept. And again, there are different types of clouds. Public cloud and private cloud. These are all public cloud where everybody, all the businesses are using their cloud services. Private cloud is the place where they build their own cloud system and they use it. For Amazon services, it is their private cloud because they are housing in their own system. If Netflix goes to Amazon, then it becomes a public cloud. So the applications such as defense, banking, they don't prefer outside cloud. They don't prefer public cloud because of high confidentiality. Even defense, they never go for any GCP, AWS, nothing. They build their own cloud system, and the technology is far more superior than that is available in the market. The technology will not even be revealed to outside until it becomes outdated in defense. What technologies, what research, the high-end technologies that are there, that comes first to the defense. They don't even let it out to general public. And once it becomes obsolete or outdated in defense, they let it out to the market. So that's how it works. Defense and financial banking, they don't prefer outside cloud. However, some people, some portion of data, they choose public cloud, and extremely confidential things, they have private cloud. So that will be a hybrid cloud. So that option is also available, and that's how they build it. So I recently visited, no, not recently, last year in June, I visited NCRT and met the director there with respect to our books. I had an opportunity to meet and discuss. Then I asked, where do they save their data? NCRT also has a big server room where they store all the data in-house. There is no outside server. NCRT has one big room where they manage their own uh, server storage, and they have not put India's school education data anywhere on any public cloud. Yeah. So that is about the cloud. Okay, let's get back to it. So we didn't realize how we passed 1 hour already. So after discussing all this, you can quickly run through this storage space, basic units. Maybe the students need extra attention here. The basic unit bits, bit is either 0 or 1. 8 bits will make bytes, and then kilobytes, megabytes. So we scale them. These are all given. And a video, and very nicely made animated video will also be available for both teachers and students to watch on this. So that is covered. We also give example, a simple text file, Word document or something, whatever we write, notepad, they will be in the range of 2 to 10 kilobytes. They need to understand, not just numbers, they need to understand if I take this photograph, what will be the size of it. That imagination or that ability to understand, gauge that size of the file, they should develop, not just knowing the numbers, writing the numbers right and getting marks. They should have a rough idea of this could be the memory that is required if I have to save this. So megabytes consist of 1024 kilobytes will become 1 megabyte MB. For example, we have high quality, high definition images, they come in MBs. Gigabytes, movies usually range from 2 GB to anywhere around 10 GB based on the quality, the resolution. 2 GB might be enough to store around 500 photos. So we have given examples. What is meant by 2 GB? How much can it hold? Students need that connectivity. If they have that gap, they will forget all this GB, MB and still act like fools even after learning everything. Yeah. So 1 hour of video, 500 photos is what 2 GB looks like. And small devices, smartphones or USB, they have storage ranging from 2 GB to 256 GB. Terabytes, industrial data is usually in terabytes, petabytes. Humongous data, big data. So this image is clear in the book, but this is a compressed version of PDF so that it opens up easily. So we have given the table, what makes up 1 kilobyte, how many kilobytes makes up 1 MB. So the comparison table, just the units table is given here. So types of data storage, server, in-house. It can store up to 100 GB to 100 TB. This was used earlier. Now nobody thinks of having this server because cloud has occupied and people have been realizing the worth of cloud. So not many people stick to server, but this is like almost a history, having their own thing in the system for all small offices. So hard disk, yes, it is inside the computer, which is inbuilt, and external hard disk as well. Internal hard disk, it looks something like this. Inbuilt into the CPU cabinet where you can see there is a hard disk. It will range from 500 GB to 10 TB. External hard disk, this is a portable version of the internal hard drive. We plug it. The problem with all these is if they get corrupted, you cannot retrieve the data. Sometimes you can, sometimes you cannot. So there is always a risk. And carrying it physically or maintaining it is really a tough task.
Can we connect the external hard disk to mobile?
External hard disk to mobile. Yes, we can.
Okay.
We can do that. The thing is, you are just transferring all of those to the external hard disk. Wherever you carry your phone, you can also carry, you have to carry that external hard disk. Why do we have to take that pain of carrying two devices? And external hard disks are a lot heavier than the mobile phone.
Memory card.
I think it's outdated nowadays.
Yeah, memory card is all outdated. The phones are, because cloud is encroaching everything. See, I find it easy to pay 200 rupees extra per month and get access of 100 GB. I have an access to 100 GB. And even if I lose my phone, a new phone can come in, I will still have all the 100 GB data because it's on the cloud. So the pen drive range for quick fix, pen drives are still good because we just have to, when there is no internet or quickly I want to just transfer, pen drives are still handy. They are in the market doing well. And CD, I think this generation students may or may not have seen this. We just thought we'll show them what these are. Memory cards. Then comes cloud storage in the end. Several terabytes. So when do we need cloud? We have already covered these. Why do we need cloud? Storing data on computers and in cloud. Advantages of finding using cloud storage. So all this, you go to the toughest and the important thing first. You know what the students already know, rush through those topics. Then you can quickly cover the chapter. So Google Cloud, Google Drive, we are just flipping the pages in the classroom because we have already discussed everything at length. So Apple's iCloud, Microsoft Azure, AWS. So one small activity for the students who have not introduced to the Google Drive, you can demonstrate in the school system, in the projector, you can just show them how to upload a file on the Google Drive and retrieve it by uploading the file. Because downloading we have seen in the previous chapter, uploading is something we have not seen. So here through this activity, we can show how to upload on the cloud. How to open the Google Drive and upload we have given for people who are really naive, who don't know about this. Uploading a family photo. They can do this activity even at home. A small caselet about a wedding photographer who was getting exhausted with his memory that every wedding photo, every wedding generates so many GBs of data the wedding would generate. And he's a wedding photographer. In the wedding season, he was running out of storage space, managing so many hard disks and everything. It was all haywire. So then somebody tells him about cloud and he will start using the cloud. He is relieved from all of this. So such examples will make students retain the concepts and apply it to the real life. This is a summary of it. And from fifth standard, we have something interesting. After the workstation, we have something called case study, which starts from fifth grade only. Until then, it's just caselet, mini project, and over. From fifth grade, we have given real life cases where some mishaps have happened. Like in 2017, a company, US based company, Equifax, hacked their entire storage space. They stole the information. Personal information of 147 million people was leaked. Social security was at risk. Credit card details, numbers, everything. Just because they had a loophole in their storage, cloud storage. So this is an example which will make them think twice when they are using storage devices. Yeah, so that was about cloud storage. We will take a quick break of 5 minutes, then attend the cyber security. Okay, welcome back, everyone. Let us discuss this topic of cybersecurity, which is a pressing issue these days. A lot of scam, lot of spam, so many threats, so many ways of trapping the people of all the age groups. So this is the most essential topic for students. We talk about the requirement of strong passwords, how they shouldn't be shared with anyone, how passwords have to be changed frequently, who are called hackers. So hackers are those who try to break into computers and networks when the computers are connected with each other. So they are connected with a network, and somebody who intervenes into those networks and taps the information. They are called hackers. So viruses. Now, what are viruses? How do they actually look like? Viruses are like germs for computers. I see kids are fascinated by this word when it comes to computer education. Virus. What are they imagining when they say virus? And what is in reality a virus? How does it look? Would somebody like to answer? How does these viruses look?
Viruses are single cell organisms.
Sorry, your voice was cracking.
Microorganisms.
Microorganisms.
Viruses are
Okay.
single
Mm-hmm.
single cell unicellular.
Single. Okay. Yeah. But the viruses here mean something different.
It's coding or wrong programming.
Yeah, it's a wrong piece of code. Although the name, the way it attacks is to the virus that we know, a single cell microorganism. That's why they have given it as a virus. But in reality, there is no living organism or virus that is attacking the system. It is just the pieces of code. I will demonstrate this. This is how you can also show it to your students, including me. A lot of us are in a wrong assumption that this is the way it looks. This is how it looks, but it's totally a different thing. It's just an analogy given. So there is an operating system. Operating system, we learned that yesterday, it's a system software. So there are some lines of code here. Just assume some lines of codes written. These are the lines of codes. Rather, I'll just show you another color. I'll choose this. These are the lines of system software, operating system codes meant to perform certain task very smoothly, whatever we ask for, line one. So lines of codes, which are software lines of codes, which are getting some task done. So this is the case when the system is running smooth. Now, what is a virus attack? Suppose this is in my system, my computer, everything working smooth. I fix my laptop or some pen drive which has some photograph or video. Along with this, there is some virus, meaning there is some wrong piece of code sitting here. So there is some wrong piece of code that is here, which is not visible. When I fix this here, it will enter the operating system and it will encroach that code. There will be different lines of codes. It will change this code. There will be different lines of codes here. It's all disrupting the system software. And your computer will start behaving crazy. Like your cursor is not moving. If you click on the folder, it is simply taking you to toggle. All this is because the system software is attacked. So these are nothing but the pieces of code, software pieces of codes only, which is hampering the effortless or seamless working of the write code. So the write code is obstructed by the wrong code. The wrong code is called virus. So there is nothing as an organism that is entering here, but the wrong piece of code which is disrupting everything and making everything go hazy and unpredictable in the system. So these are nothing but virus. So whenever we hear the word virus or ransomware, just know that those are wrong pieces of code which will disturb the flow of the right code and make the things go wrong. So going back to the book here. So they are nothing but germs for the computers, but they look like they are the code. Only an analogy is given and shown in this form. Okay. So antivirus software, what it does is when that red piece of code which I showed, it start entering the system, it will block those lines of codes and the green remains the green, continue to remain the green. So that's how antivirus software works. It will detect which is a wrong code. It will block those lines of codes. So history of cybersecurity. Earlier, cybersecurity was not of a great concern because there were hardly any computers and people used it for all the right reasons. Now the computers are just another thing in everybody's life, everyday task. So people have started to do all the illegal things with that. And there rises the need for cybersecurity. So the first virus called Creeper, a wrong code, was the first computer virus created. He actually created it to just test if that is all possible. Bob Thomas at BNB Technologies. It was just an experiment to say if some such thing can be done. A code which just enters and disrupt the good code. So he tried it and he deleted. Then he created antivirus also called Reaper, which would delete those codes which have gone inside the right code. So this was the first virus. And again, Bob Thomas was the one who created this concept of virus creeper, and he also found out an antivirus. He did both, he finished there. And the actual virus which spread into personal computers, floppy disk, was created by a high school student, caused funny message to appear. Like it was a trick or a game. Meaning if everything is going smooth, something starts behaving crazy. The student started finding it funny. There was no intention of hacking or anything. He or she just did that task just to surprise people, choke up people, and have fun. But that led to something. People thought of doing something more disastrous through that. So antivirus software becomes popular. McAfee. It was released in 1987 because the concept of viruses started to spread everywhere on all the systems. And with internet, it was uncontrollable. Without internet, it was just limited. You format the computer. You feel like it has come out with some external hard disk or external floppy CD or pen drive. Format the computer, clean it, antivirus, it's gone. But with internet, it's very difficult to control. And the antivirus softwares, firewall have to be stronger. So there are different attacks that happen. What do we mean by phishing attacks? Although it starts from the letter PHI, it is called as phishing, phishing attacks. What is meant by phishing attack? heard of them? What exactly is phishing attack?
Fraudulent.
Yeah. Any answers for this phishing attack?
One file will copy it many times.
No, not really. Phishing attack is a different kind of attack. Worms are those which will multiply by itself. So phishing attack is a specific type of cyber security threat where it will mimic like genuine thing and extract passwords, credentials, and make you, it will mask itself like a genuine thing and then extract all the information, your banking details, your passwords, and then it creates havoc to your account. So those are phishing attacks, masking themselves to be genuine people, genuine mail, genuine message, and then you end up clicking on them. That's a phishing attack. Now, what is ransomware? This is also a type of threat. Ransomware. Would somebody like to answer?
The killing person for the money.
Right. Yeah. So they just encroach your details, your account and everything, and they will demand money. They say only if you pay me, I will activate or release your account. So in the Facebook, the messenger, whatever they ask money, that is not ransomware. That is phishing attack. They try to enact like they are your somebody known, or somebody is really in need of it. That comes under phishing attack. It's not ransomware. Ransomware is a place where, say, your bank account is held and you're unable to operate, withdraw money, deposit money, check, do anything. And if you want to release that, they will start threatening you, saying, give me so much money, only then I'll release your bank account. So such cases are ransomware. Maybe we have not experienced that as often as phishing attacks. Phishing attacks are a lot common. And spyware. Spyware is a wrong software that is unknowingly that gets installed in our devices. It is checking all our activities and passing information elsewhere, and one will be rightly trapped when there is an opportunity. So spyware is a wrong software. Entire software is installed. So that's why they say do not download any random apps from the Play Store. Just check its health, check its proper condition, and then download any app, because it might be a spyware. For all you know, it might, usually they come like games, because kids find it irresistible to download attractive games. In the face of games, there will be a spyware which will be sitting on your systems. So if your banking related apps are on your phone, then please do not have any games of your kids on the phone. You never know which is a spyware, which game. So let them play games on the computer or whatever. The device that you use for banking should not have any gaming data or gaming apps or anything. So try to keep them separate.
Uh, virus can attack Linux software.
Yeah, viruses can attack any system for that matter. Linux is open source. It's more easy to crack it. Most difficult is to crack Apple or iPhone, uh, Mac OS. They are very, very superior in terms of security and safety. The reason why people have to go for Apple devices is safety and security. and that is for people who are in any crucial businesses or anything, so their data is maintained. But people, the youngsters, they have a fad of Apple because it has become a brand. The only right reason that one should go for Apple is highest security. They provide highest level of security. Even the employees in the Apple don't know end to end. They will only know the part of the task that they are doing. They will not know the next step, what it is doing. So much of confidentiality is maintained from employee to employee in terms of technology, yet they get it done. It stands topmost in with respect to security. So all these are the common things: using strong passwords, being careful with what they click. Give your own examples and real life examples when you teach those students, and how to create a strong password. Let us not assume that they already know. Let us not keep any gaps. Teach them. So we already discussed this. Types of cyber security. Malware is a bad software again. So examples are viruses, worms, which replicate themselves in a very fast speed. And phishing attack, tricking people, trying to fake some as a genuine person, genuine mail website. That is phishing attack. Data locker, it's a type of malware that locks your files and asks money, ransom. Virus again is a type of software, pieces of codes, examples are given. Pop-up ads will also have some viruses underneath them, so should not click on the ads that pop up, no matter how exciting they sound. And again, we realize that these cyber crimes are done by, you will not know, as students, they will be very innocent. Somewhere they grow up, and after some time, if they are in the news, then you would be shaken. This boy was so innocent in the school. How come a boy like this would attempt such a thing? So teachers get to see the most innocent version of the students, and over the years they change and it shakes them. So they should be taught in a very young age about the consequences of it. So they will at least think twice before they get into such stream of illegal activities. Jail time, fines they have to pay. So an activity creating a report in MS Word about, because they have learned MS Word in previous class, they will create a report on MS Word about different punishments enforced by law in India on different cyber crimes. They will search on the internet, browse the information and type it. This is intended so that when they write, they mean it. The intensity of their absorption or the impact is higher when they write it by their own hands. So when they type or make a document. So that's why we are getting this activity done, connecting with the previous topics that are covered in the books. And a short story of a strong password. Lock screen feature, strong password. Nothing, in my opinion, nothing should be ignored saying the students might already be knowing this, because you never know the most obvious thing nobody will have told, and that student will end up doing a grave mistake before it's too late. We need to educate them. So a case study on our own Aadhaar card data leak that happened in 2018. Over 1.3 billion people's data was breached, meaning it was leaked to unknown agencies. Names, addresses, phone numbers, they were all sold out for just 500 rupees, everybody's data. So there was a serious concern about data security, and UDAI faced serious criticism for poor security measures. It happens with even, so this is also a message to people, students who are fascinated about just building something, building an app, building a technology, building a software, it is incomplete if they don't see it in a holistic way, meaning its security, its scalability, its utility. They have to think in all these directions when they are building an app. So everybody are after building an app, writing a code, building an app. That is not a matter of pride at all. It's just one thing, but surrounding things they have to learn. Security, utility. First of all, is that app really going to use, or you just take the pride in building it? That may not even be required. So do not fantasize and clap for people who are aimlessly building apps, which is not even intended. So only technological talent is not going to go far. They should understand it's in its holistic nature. When cases like Facebook, Aadhaar card, would I have experienced such horrible scenarios with respect to such most useful, desirable applications. It calls for people to contemplate on what is the use of building an app or something without considering all the aspects. All right, so that completes the chapter of cybersecurity. Again, we will take a 5 minutes break and then quickly cover the concepts of fundamentals of programming languages. We are not going in depth, but fundamentals, which is very important. So I insist you to pay extra attention here. We'll take a break. I'll start at 7:35. Okay, welcome back. We'll try to cover the fundamentals of a programming language. In this book, the real, does we have HTML, CSS, but those are different types of language, descriptive languages. But the actual programming language that we have, hardcore programming language that is given in the book is Python. We will cover those Python relevant examples in the further training sessions. But now, in general, any programming language, please remember this structure, any programming language for that matter. It could be, can you name few programming languages that you know other than Python?
C programming, Visual Basic.
Yeah, C, C++,
Java,
Visual Basics, Java, yes.
JavaScript,
JavaScript, yes. C,
Visual Basic.
yeah. So irrespective of the type of programming language, now whatever I'm saying, they apply to all the programming languages. These are the fundamentals of any. So programming language is a concept. It's not a technology. It's a concept. So under this specific programming languages, they are called technologies like Python, Java, Python. They are called technologies. They are specific programming language. Okay, concepts like physics, chemistry, maths, they are concepts, they are not technologies. Like that, programming language is also a concept. And the technologies could be all the languages, Java, Python, C, C++, C Sharp, and so on. So irrespective of the type of programming language, they have something in common, which we will see that. I call this as three-dimensional structure, programming language. Any programming language, it comes in 3 dimensions, or say the first dimension of any programming language are the fundamentals, basics. They learn variables. Variables are the basic units where they hold the next, that is data type. They will hold the data types. Variables is a combination of words and letters that come on the left side. Say if I have to store a number in any programming language for that matter, I'll just say number, this will be a variable equal to, if I put some number, say 14. 14 is a data type and this will be a variable. Anything that comes on the left side which holds the data is a variable. So it's a container which will hold some data. So those will be common. The way we declare the variables, the rules will differ. In Python, it could be different rules. In Java, it could be a different rule. So the rules of declaring the variables will differ from different programming languages, but variable should be there. It's like when you are building a house, the basics should be there, like windows, bricks, doors, washroom. So these things are common. Bricks, mortar, cement, water, all these are required. So those are non-negotiable. So these are first dimension. They are very fundamentals on which the programming languages are they build up. Okay, data types. Then the third one is operators. All the mathematical symbols, plus, minus, equal to, comparator operators, greater than, equal to, all these are operators. Then the next one is looping statements, loops. Which are the loops that we know in general, any programming language? Loops.
For loop, while loop,
Right.
Do while loop.
For, while, do
while,
while.
do while.
These are the examples of loops. They help certain things repeat automatically without writing the code again and again. So loops are very important. Loops are there in all the programming languages. And conditional statements. Example for conditional statements?
If,
If
else
then
if,
else.
Yeah.
Else if.
Right.
else if,
If, else,
else if,
if. In different language, it is different rules. The rules will change for every programming language, but the structure, these are fundamentals. They will be there in all the languages. You can choose to learn any programming language, they will have all of these. The rules will differ. So conditional statements, then comes functions. Functions are small pieces of codes which will help us in reusing them. Once we write that piece of code, we keep calling it often and use it instantly. So in functions, we have two types again. One is built-in, like print in Python is a built-in function. Somebody has already written how this has to work. You just call it when you say print in Python with small brackets. So you're just calling it. You are not building a print function. You are not developing, because this print function itself is 100 lines of codes which you have not written. The developers have written, you're just calling it. So such functions are called built-in functions. Built-in, and some functions which are not available in the community of that programming language, they are called user-defined functions, meaning we will define them, we will write them based on our need, based on our application, we will write them. So user-defined functions and built-in functions. So again, the last one is libraries. Set of similar functions will create one library. So there are set of mathematical functions I have created that becomes one library. In Python, NumPy is a library in Python which holds all the mathematical related function like mean, median, average, sum. So all of these functions, if they are bundled up and kept in one place and given a name, that will become a library. So this is the hierarchy. No matter which programming language, these will remain the same. And anybody who learns these, they can just say that I understand programming, I understand this language, but they cannot be experts in this. They are just basics. Okay, so going to the second dimension, it is the style of programming language, the way we build the style, or it is called paradigm, programming paradigm. There are different styles in which the program will continue to build. If you have to write millions of lines of code, suppose somebody has built this WhatsApp, it's not just single person. There will be multitude of people who have worked on building a software such as WhatsApp. So there they will adapted to certain style of developing the code using all of these. So they continue to flow from one dimension to other. They are not discrete. Whatever you have learned, next step you learn this and next step you go there. So style, we have something called object-oriented programming, if you have heard. OOPS it is called in short form, object-oriented programming. It's OOP it is called, object-oriented programming. It is a style which involves declaring things as classes and objects. Most of the applications are WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, they're all built on object-oriented programming style, meaning there will be blocks of codes. Say video calling. If you have the feature of video calling, it is one class and there will be some code written on it. There is another class for, what do we say, sharing images. Sharing images. Then there will be piece of code for that. Another class for recording, audio recording, voice message, I can say voice message. There will be code for this. So this is how they build the code and build a software. Suppose the advantage of this object-oriented programming are too many. One of which is the code will say, I want to update the code of WhatsApp. I want to improve the feature of video call. Then I need not stop all of these features and then induce a new piece of code. While this is running, I can still change it. With the update, this piece of code will be replaced with the new piece of code seamlessly when you click on update. Whereas all of these features will be running as it is. it will not interrupt. When you say update, just a new piece of code will very nicely come and upgrade this feature. So it's very easy to give upgradations, and security wise also masking can be done in your banking applications. So your password ID is not accessible to all. So abstraction, layers, encapsulation, how it is all structured, how what should be shared to whom, all that is possible with object-oriented programming. So a lot of applications are built in this style, object-oriented programming. Then there are many procedural, functional, there are different styles, imperative. Different styles are there. If you just, in the book, we have given which languages are example of object-oriented and everything. So Python is one such language which supports all these styles. That's why it is famous. It supports all the styles, and programming languages are also open source and closed source. Open source is free of cost. So Python is free of cost. You don't need license to use it. Whereas a programming language such as MATLAB, it is a closed source. You need license for it, you need to pay for it. So it's not widely used unless some scientific research. So Python is an open source language, Java is an open source, C++, all these which are famous, they are open source, free of cost, available. And Python is an open source language, and it supports all these styles. And within the software code, you can have a combination of these styles. Largely, object-oriented programming style is adapted because of its own advantages. And to master this, 1 or 2 years is not enough. You can just introduce the students how to write classes and objects, but you cannot make them masters of it. Because to become masters, they will have to work on that style at least for 2 years, 3 years on some project. Only then they will gain the hang of it. So that's why we have not focused on this. We have just mentioned what these types are, but we have not given any development activity, any code development on these for that age group, because it's really difficult to expect them to understand, grasp, or somebody who has attended this class, they might understand what the importance of this. Somebody who's trying to teach on their own, they will not get a right example to tell them. So students will start hating it, not understanding what this object-oriented programming is. So let us not do that. So we have not given any in-depth of any code on this process. Without this also, we can go to the third one. That is libraries based on applications. So every programming language, there will be some libraries. Say with Python, not all the programming languages are used for all the applications. Say Java is good for different softwares, web design. For web development, Java is preferred than Python. For AI and machine learning, data analytics, Python is preferred over Java. Java cannot do that at all. Forget about preferring. Java is incompetent to deal with any AI or machine learning. So there are different languages for different applications. So because they have libraries developed, even in Python, Python is one language again, which will suit all the applications. The priority may be different. We can still build websites with Python, but the library or the framework for this is Django. D is silent. Django. This is only for Python, I'm saying. Python website for gaming. There is different library in Python. Tkinter. Tkinter is one, and there are many more for gaming. In Python, these are the names of the libraries, set of similar functions which will help us build. And for AI ML, there are so many libraries in Python. That is Pandas for data analysis, NumPy for numerical analysis, Matplotlib. These we have given in 8th standard. Matplotlib for data visualization to draw graphs and everything on the data. And TensorFlow, these are not there. This is high level. TensorFlow, scikit-learn. So these are all for AI machine learning, which are there in Pandas, Python. And software testing also, there are different libraries. So like this, even in a single programming language, there are different libraries for different applications. So like this, Java is not suitable for AI/ML, and Java is preferred for web designing over Python. So their different languages have marked their space in different applications. So when somebody says, I know Python, it is half done. They should be able to say, I have built a game using Python. Then that means somebody will understand he or she knows to work with these libraries. And when they are building a game, they will definitely have involved these classes and objects, and fundamentals will definitely be there. So it's always good to say, I have built this game using Python, meaning these two blocks, first two dimensions are already covered. You need not defend your knowledge based on the first two dimensions. You say ultimately what you have built. That comes from the third dimension. So just remember, different libraries are there in different programming languages, which will help us build applications which are in the end used by the users. So, and one programming language cannot suit all the needs. So if you take an application now, such as Instagram, on the back end for all the logical processes, there is Python. But front end, we still need HTML, CSS, JavaScript, front end technologies, back end technologies. So whichever language suits, they fit in that, and there are connector files between those different languages. So that's how the system of programming languages work. Somebody cannot say, I know Python and I can build anything. It's like saying, I have learned to use a hammer and I will build a road from it. To build a road, we need so many other tools. Of course, hammer could be one, but I'm just saying it for an example. It could be one, but it's not everything. So in any software application, there is no single programming language. In the front end, there are some different languages. In the back end, and in between, there are connector files, pieces of codes which connect this language to this language. And as an user, I am just experiencing with a nice UI UX. I am just operating here. I don't know what is happening here. But let me tell you, there are multiple programming languages behind any famous software that you are using. So this covers just the basic of programming languages, fundamentals. I'll quickly scroll through there is one concept called GitHub, which I'll cover tomorrow as a case study. This one, tomorrow I'll be beginning the session with this GitHub. But today, let me scroll through this chapter. All that I said today, it's said now, they are there here. So after the story, what you have heard from me on the whiteboard, so it's all there. Programming language, what makes it unique. So computer understands binary code, zeros and ones. And there is something called compiler or interpreter, which converts the programming languages into zeros and ones. Python has interpreter, other languages have compiler. What they do is the same, how they do is different. So there are different names. Interpreter is a different name, compiler is a different name. So why programming languages are important? They help us build websites, games, and other applications. Examples, every programming language will have rules, that is nothing but syntax. Semantics is logic, and keywords will be there in every programming. So remember, this topic is not specifically for Python. It is in general what programming languages are, conceptual. So all the first chapters of the lessons, they are not inclined towards lab. They are only theoretical, conceptual understanding of those. So operators are there, different operators and data types such as int, float, strings, characters. Then control structures like if, elif. We have covered all this already. I showed you. Then styles, programming style. Java adapts procedural. Then C++, object-oriented, and Python is built using C++. So functional programming, F#, Haskell, Erlang. So different applications we just covered. Web development, web application, CSS, JavaScript will also be there, front end, back end.
Yeah.
Game development, mobile app development. There is a language called Swift for to build something on iOS. If they want to build an iOS app, then they need to learn the language called Swift. So Kotlin is Google's language, which is used for Android app development. So to build web application, there are programs. To build mobile applications, there are different programming languages. WhatsApp relies on Erlang for messaging services enabling. Only this feature it supports, it is sourced from Erlang. For some other feature, it will use some other programming language. Instagram is built using Python and Django. D is silent here. Django web framework for server side, client side. Client is user side. Server is the place from which the resources, database is all managed. So these are examples. For AI, Python is good. For software development, Java or C# may be better. So here, create your own app idea. This is again on the paper. It is not building an app in the computer lab or something. They just create an icon and they show the features. This will have so many features. When they click on the button, the home opening page of the app will be like this. It's just color, crayons, pencil, not doing it on the systems or building anything. Remember, all the first lessons which come under computer literacy segment, they are all theoretical. You may not get into the labs for them. Yeah, so it's a short caselet here. A story about using different programming languages. And in the end, we have a case study of GitHub. It needs some time. I cannot finish it in 2 minutes. We will understand this GitHub tomorrow and go to the further topics tomorrow. So tomorrow, majority of them have agreed for 5 to 7 p.m. So we'll have it from 5 to 7 p.m. tomorrow. I will share the link accordingly in the group. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for your patient listening. All these videos recordings will also be shared with you. So if you want to refer these, once the school goes in full-fledged, you want something, then always refer to these videos, prepare yourself and give the best to your students. Yeah. So we finish here. If somebody has any questions, suggestions, please go ahead and ask, and others can leave. We'll meet tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Yeah.
I don't know about any programming. Can I learn
Okay.
Python direct?
Python, yes. Everywhere in schools, in colleges. Earlier, C used to be the first language. Now Python is made as the first language. It is very easy.
Okay, so I can learn.
Yeah, you can learn going ahead in further trainings. Please do not miss level 3 training where we will have Python programming language.
Okay, ma'am.
So there we teach from the basic. You will not even realize that it is hard. It is very smooth and easy.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Yeah. Have a great Sunday. Enjoy. We'll catch up tomorrow at 5 o'clock.